Hi, this is Chris Cowie. This is the Ruffner Road updated porch design, screen porch, and I'm going to start with the PDF files. So we have now the structural documents, which we got a while ago. That's S000. This is the structural engineer Wasi. He signed and sealed these. He's done all the calculations. His layout required me to go back and pretty much rebuild my whole model, which took me longer than I was thinking it would, but I'm there now. So his structural information is up against the existing wall. He's putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new concrete piers that are 8 inches by 8 inches that sit on concrete footings. And then across those, he runs a structural beam here, and he bolts a structural beam to the building, and he runs 2 by 12 joists on hangers perpendicular to the exterior wall of the house. And all of these piers, he has 4 feet on center, and then when I turn the corner, I'm going to do the same thing architecturally and go 4 feet on center so that all the screens are exactly the same size. And then whatever distance this overlap is on the house is what it'll be. And then he has another sheet that's the upper level framing. So he uses 4x4 posts that come up, and they go from the top of the concrete pier, which is just about grade, and then a little bit above grade. And then he has a moment connection to the 4x4 post, and then the 4x4 post runs all the way up to my 42-inch guardrail. That provides an efficient structure that Eric wanted. There's structural connections in here, moment connections, and those sorts of things. So that's kind of the technical side of things. Then I'll use that to go for permit along with these drawings. I'm referencing the City of Alexandria deck guide, which you can Google and find, and I can provide you a link to that. That has good details that are just good practice that should be followed. And I reference that and the building code here. I list all the drawings that are in the set, and then I list who's who. You'll need a site plan to show that we're within the setbacks on the property, which we are, and that's dimensioned, and some notes. And then these are the demolition plans. That's repairing the existing patio, and this is modifying the earth to get a new membrane and allowing the water to flow off the edge of this where we take the edge of the wall down. This is the second floor where we take out the existing triangular deck. Ceiling plan where we're not doing anything in the existing. And then this is the new work. This is the framing plan just below the deck with the same structural 4 foot on center information and showing all the framing just above a water membrane that needs to sheet off to the edge of this and then repair the patio. There's a step from the house down to a landing, and then another step down to the porch, and then another step down to get to the patio. And then this is the floor plan just above the new deck. So that's the little landing, a step down, a second step to the porch, a step down, a second step down to the patio. This is the new roof deck up top. That's the ceiling plan. There's 2 ceiling fans. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights. There's a light switch that operates the lights, and then there's a second light switch that operates the fans. Then the demolition elevations, taking this wall down so that we can get positive flow off the patio and off the new earth underneath the screen porch, repairing the sidewalk or the patio. And then this is the new. So we get nice 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4x4 posts that come all the way up. I'll show you in Lumion that a little bit better, but I'm wrapping the 4x4 posts with a bigger Versatex wrap. All the lumber gets wrapped with a synthetic wrapping, and then up top I didn't want these to be as bulky, so I wrapped them with a smaller Versatex wrap. Did the cable railing with the guardrail, and this isn't showing, but there's cables in here too. And then the elevation that faces your neighbors, where we're doing the solid panels down below, and then the screens above that. I'll show you this framing a little more in a minute. The demolition elevation, the proposed. So the framing, the way the framing works is you'll have the new compacted earth with a membrane. We took the top of the wall off so the water can spill off the edge. And then we have these new piers that hold up the new floor framing. Those are the steps down. And then this will show a little bit better in the detail sheet. This, although I did want to point this out. So you get a nice flat ceiling at 8'3" above the new porch floor. And then you get a new deck that's level with your second floor. And then I sloped the framing in between the two of those so that the water goes through the second floor deck, spills onto this new membrane roof that goes to a gutter and a downspout. These are the more detailed sections that kind of show what I was talking about. With you have an existing wall with a footing, then we put the new 8x8 concrete piers in, then we connect a 4x4 post that goes all the way continuous from here up to the guardrail height. Then we bolt a 2x12 onto that, and then we run 2x12s perpendicular. And then I take the Versatex trim and make that pretty. And then I get my synthetic decking on top. And then I wrap the 4x4 with a little bit larger wrap here in between the screens, which are shown in section over here. And then when I get up to the posts at the deck, I want that to be skinnier. I want that to be 4 3/4, and down here I want it to be 6 3/4. And then the ledger board against the house where the framing comes from the gutter edge all the way over to the house, the shelf at the window ledge height. So I think that's about all that I really need to show in here, some technical information. So let me move from that to the Lumion. So the Lumion, we've got the existing brick wall that has this lip on it over here. And we're going to take that lip off all the way here. And then when these existing pavers are repaired, the water will spill out over those. When we do the new deck, that's open, so any water goes through, spills onto this new membrane that's then sloped to the edge of the brick wall. We pick up the water that comes through the second floor deck on that sloped framing that's hidden behind the decorative trim. We pick that up with a gutter and a downspout, spill it on the drain near the catch basin. We put the panels, the solid panels, on this side facing your neighbors. I put some optional manual rolling shades at each of those that we'll see inside in a minute. And then this is where all of these are exactly the same size, 4 feet on center, both sides. For the screens, we get a railing at 3 feet with a nice wood ledge at 3 feet on the inside, and then I get a guardrail at 42 inches and a guardrail at 42 inches. It's hard to see in this model, but there are cables running through here to meet code at 4 inches on center. It doesn't look like it here, but this will be decking that has spaces between them for the water to go through. And as I said earlier, then that spills out this opening on the side. Shouldn't be any exposed lumber. Everything should be wrapped in the synthetic trim. So let's go. So you get your new pavers fixed. We come up 7 inches to a step, another 7 inches to the new deck. This door will be a prettier screen door. This is just a placeholder for a door. And we come inside. I get a guardrail at 42 inches. I get a shelf at 36 inches. Eric can work with you to provide the kind of detailing we want here. This is sort of a placeholder. We get the nice beaded boardwood ceiling. We get the 6 lights in the ceiling, the 2 ceiling fans. I think I put an outlet in the floor here in case you have a table there. I did an outlet in this wall. And I think I did outlets in this wall. One of those might be existing. And then I did the 2 switches here, the shelf at the window height. Also, Eric can work with you. I think there's a window here. There's a dryer vent. That can be just worked out in the field as to how you want to either hide those, cover it, or leave a little window well there. So I think that this might help you understand the framing. So there's the existing brick wall that comes down to an existing footing, and then the structural guy is going to build these new 8x8 piers, which the wood posts sit on top of. That supports a beam with joist hangers and joists. And then there are new footings down here. So this looks like it's a big, basement space. There's really dirt here. Eric's going to have to dig down all the way down to the bottom of that wall to get these footings in. So that gives you a look at that. Gives you the deck. Here you can see the railings a little bit better. Oh, we did a minute ago. So I think that's that. And then maybe I'll just spend a minute to show what happens when I start cutting sections through this stuff. Well, maybe that's going to get too confusing. So again, just to kind of show these 8x8 piers that come up, the 4x4 post that goes all the way through. I wrap it here with a bigger wrap and a smaller wrap up top, the cable railings. This gives a better picture of a 2x12 here, a 2x12 back at the house, joist hangers, and a sloped 2x12 with a membrane on plywood that goes to a gutter, and then sort of this floating deck up here. Eric will do triangular, what I call purlins, to support the decking there, and that lets the water still travel through there. So I think that gives you a good idea. I wanted you to look at this. I'm ready to go in for permit, which I can do electronically, I believe, and start that process. But I wanted to just make sure you were happy with what you're seeing before I do that. So I think that's everything that I wanted to go through.